Have you ever had something happen repeatedly over and over again that was very annoying? Something that happened off and on, it seemed like every few hours for a week or two. Something that interrupts your life, causes issues, but yet no one really seems to um, care when it's brought to their attention. Well, I got a vlog to share with you of what some of the things that I've experienced over the last week and a half or so. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, living in an apartment complex, you have multiple other people that are in the building under the same roof as you. And they're cooking, they're smoking, they're lighting their fireplaces, they're doing whatever else they're doing that creates things. And sometimes the in-suite smoke alarm goes off and sometimes it doesn't. If you're lucky, the in-suite smoke alarm they deal with and it's perfectly fine. But somehow, if it makes it out into the hallway, then the main apartment smoke detector or alarm goes off. And then, well, it's a loud noise that wakes people up, that causes people to throw on their clothes, run out of their apartments, and the fire department to show up. I was in bed. I was having a bit of a rough stretch. And I was having actually finally a good night's sleep when suddenly I'm awoke by an alarm. Well, of course, I get up, and one of the first things I do is go look over the railing to see if I can see flames or smoke, because that's the way it was last time there was a fire. Alarm didn't even go off that time. It was a visual cue that I found, and when there was no flames, I opened the door and there's no smoke in the hallway. I'm thinking to myself, what should I do? So you follow protocol. You grab your cat, jam her in a crate, you put your leash on your dog, you throw on your coat, you start your truck, you go to go down the stairs, and about halfway down the stairs the alarm goes off. It stops ringing. There's no one else in the hallways, no one else in the entranceways. So you take your cat that doesn't like to be in the crate that's howling like crazy back upstairs. You take your dog who's just as confused as you are to what's going on because, well, you were just sleeping a few minutes ago, back upstairs. You hesitate for a bit, but you call the maintenance number to say, hey, the fire alarm was just going off. I have no idea what's going on. Well, they take your information. One of the maintenance guys show up, walk through the building, and leave. There's no phone call to say, yeah, this was just somebody pulled the alarm, or somebody smoking in the hallway where they shouldn't have been, or just a false alarm or whatever. So you go about your day, go about your night, finally get yourself back to sleep. Then the next night, once everybody's in bed again, it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Lo and behold, the alarm starts going off again. This time, the people across the hall kept opening and closing their door. So I look through my little peephole, and I count about 6 or 8 people coming in and out of their apartment. I'm not 100% sure if they just had visitors or if there's 6 or 8 people living in that little 2-bedroom apartment. But it was kind of like a clown car. When the car pulls up, the doors open, a bunch of people come running out of there. And they run down the hallway, and I grab the cat, put her back in her crate, put the leash back on the dog, start the truck again, go downstairs, go down in the entranceway, and the entranceway is jammed full of these 6 or 8 people that come out of this apartment. Some are wearing sandals, some don't have nothing on their feet, some have their face covered in a bag or something, and They're huddled in the entranceway because, well, they're not dressed properly to be outside in the winter at, like -30 winter weather. And I go out to my truck, start the truck, expecting, fire trucks to show up and whatever. And I call maintenance once again, and I said the alarm's going off again, and have no idea why. There's no smoke, no fire. And right around the time I called maintenance, suddenly the alarm goes quiet again. So I shut the truck off, grab the cat who's howling in her crate, grab the dog, go back upstairs, go into my apartment to make myself a drink to calm down. And I hear the maintenance man come. He walks through the apartment, he gets back in his truck, drives away. And I think a day passes or so, and then the next night it does it again. This time, nobody responded. Nobody responded to the alarm. None of the tenants left their building. None of the tenants left their suite. Nobody left the building outside. I didn't even bother to crate the animals or even get dressed in outside clothes. I looked out to make sure there was no fire and whatever, and I just sat there. I didn't even call maintenance or nothing. The alarm ran for like 45 minutes, and finally a fire truck showed up. The fire truck walked around the building, came into the building, and walked through the building, and then got in their fire truck and left. The alarm shut itself off. They must have a master control in the downstairs mechanical room where they can override the bell, and the fire truck left and everything was fine. The next night, right around midnight, 12:30, it went off again, started ringing again. This time it rang for 15-20 minutes and shut itself off. I called the maintenance number and they told me, well, you seem to be calling in a lot on these false alarms. And I go, well, I said, I'm the one that's awake. I only sleep X number of hours in a night. I have insomnia, and when I do sleep, I value the sleep I get. And then when something like this happens, I find I don't sleep because I'm afraid I'm going to get woke up by a fire alarm. And I asked them, I said, would you rather me not call you and next time just call 911 instead? How many times can you have a fire truck show up in a row for a false alarm before the business starts getting fined every time the fire truck gets dispatched for a false alarm? The next morning, lo and behold, there was a fire service company out of another city come that went and serviced everybody's fire alarms and mechanical room and everything. So obviously there must have been something more going on than just a broken wire or a low battery somewhere or somebody pulling a switch somewhere. And you never know, maybe they got fined by that one fire truck that came out the other night for that false alarm. And it is sad or disturbing that when you have false alarms so frequently that the tenants become desensitized to it and no longer evacuate their apartments when there is a fire alarm, because that's what it's there for. That's what happens, and that's why people end up getting trapped in a fire, is because of maintenance not being done on the fire systems in a timely manner. But when a tenant calls in to say the alarm's going off, maybe do something about it. I know what I heard. I know what happened. I know what I seen. I know what I heard. I know what happened. Like, it's not something I made up. So when I call in, there's a reason why I call in. It's not just that I'm bored and I want to talk to the answering service in some other city somewhere and make something up just to make myself, feel good. This is an ongoing issue that happened 4 or 5 times in a row. And after we've already had one fire in this building the fall of 2020, shortly after I moved in, fire safety should be primary concern around here, rather than just letting things go because, well, it's a non-issue until it's a problem, right? But we try to do what we do. We try to live with what we live. Sometimes moving somewhere else may not be the better choice. Sometimes staying here is pretty much where you need to be for right now, and maybe when my lease comes up, we'll see how we're sitting. Maybe do one more year, maybe be here for another 10 years. Maybe I'll find a place to move to some small town somewhere, and take the challenge, the change, and move in. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.